can get better reporting on YouTube than anywhere else. But there's also a bias in the platform to emphasize the darkest, edgiest, and scariest content possible. As they say in media, if it bleeds, it leads. Poor and violent cities like Gary, Indiana are easy targets. Shoot some abandoned buildings, say there's no one around, cite some crime stats, and get 1 million views. But that's misleading and shoddy reporting. We had the YouTube idea of Gary in our head, but we wanted to know if this was accurate. So we got in touch with the mayor's office, who set us up with a local historian, then drove around the city, pulling over to talk to anyone we saw on the street. This video documents our experience, and in the end, you can make up your own mind. Is Gary scary, miserable, or a ghost town? You decide, not us.
So now if you've ever seen anything about Gary, and maybe this photo right here, which they say it's Ghost Town, USA, Gary, Indiana, but this is what it looks like now. That picture's out of date. This is in 2020, they bulldozed this block, and just like a lot of this stuff, it used to be all a bunch of abandoned buildings, and now it's not. And in fact, you have new buildings that have gone up here and here, nice new houses over here. So it's changing a lot. You still have this famous abandoned church right up here, but a lot of the blight that Gary was once known for doesn't exist anymore. All right, so this convention center over here has an interesting history, which is that for 2 years, it hosted the Miss USA pageant, courtesy of Donald Trump, who opened a casino here that operated from 1996 to 2006. Now, as part of that deal, Trump was supposed to hold the pageant for 3 years, but bailed after 2. He was also supposed to fix up a huge hotel that was over here, 14-story hotel. Over some issues, he decided not to do that either, but he did hold this here at the peak of Gary's blight for back-to-back years, the Miss USA pageant, right over here.
How quickly did it happen where this went from being a pretty thriving downtown to being totally blighted?
10 years. 10 years. You got some of the Palace Theater stuff here. I don't know if you guys want to...
Yeah, look at that theater there.
One thing that's interesting here is how retro so much of the design is. It's almost like a time capsule. Like this here, this wigs looks like something out of, you know, the 60s.
It's actually from like the 1920s.
Is it?
Yeah, you know, like...
Wow.
And it's almost like you said, like a time capsule. Everything just stopped.
What is blockbusting?
That's when real estate companies purposefully use tactics to mass evacuate a block or a subdivision. In Gary's case, they used the tactic of black people moving next door to you and bringing down your property values to create fear in the market and create a mass sell-off. It was a racket, but it worked because those who wanted not to live around black people were able to have their bastion. And then black people who wanted to leave the slums were able to move into nicer neighborhoods that used to be exclusively white. But it was just segregated all to hell, man. You know, I'm not just putting stuff out my butt. Like, you actually had politicians that made it their goal to stop Gary's growth no matter what.
How'd they do that?
Just by being in the state house and blocking measures, blocking laws. We do have new housing that has opened up on Broadway down here. We have veteran centers that are nearby for our veterans. And, you know, the grand plan is just make the city of Gary, especially its downtown region, a walkable area where that's positive, where people could come and bring their families, come get something to eat, you know, and just try to participate in the region in the same way that our southern neighbors do.
Real quick, if you are enjoying this video and want more investigations into cities around America and the world, please subscribe. We release 2 of these videos each week. Don't miss them. You're from here originally?
I was born and raised here.
How's it changed in your lifetime, Gary?
Well, it's been changed a lot. You know, used to be a lot of things to do, a lot of places to go, you know, stuff like that. You know, but as the years changed, people moved away, businesses moved away. You know, the crime ain't getting no better. You know, it's getting worse.
Is it?
You know, yeah, it's getting worse, man. That comes from not having nothing to do. You know, kids don't have nothing to do. You know, so like I said, I've been here almost 70 years, and it may get better. You know, hopefully it might get better. You know, but as far as I can tell, you know, like now it's not getting no better.
A lot of stuff closed down.
Downtown used to be the same way. Stores all up in downtown. You know, you can go down, you can catch the bus, go downtown, stay down there all day and have fun.
And what about now? What's it like now?
Like a ghost town. You got the bank, Save Mall, City Hall, the courthouse, maybe a couple of barbershops.
That's it.
And a couple of churches. That's it.
Do you guys remember, I mean, I don't know if you're probably, maybe you're not old enough, but the Jackson family, when that was going on? What was that like? Did you know any of them?
Well, not really. I went to the same school, the high school that they went to.
As Michael Jackson.
Yeah, but I really never got a chance to know none of them. You know, because Joe kept a tight rein on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, but no, I never really got a chance to know none of them.
Do you remember when they were getting famous? Was that like a huge deal?
Yeah. Left and didn't come back. Yeah, left and didn't come back, but he made a song saying he was going back to Indiana, but he never came back.
Was racism a big problem here?
Not really. Not really. Let me explain. You're gonna have racism wherever you go. And you know, I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but you have black kids raised to hate whites. You have white kids raised to hate blacks. You're gonna always have racism. You know.
Yeah. This house right here, freshly rebuilt. Guess how much they want for it? Let's take a wild guess. A month.
Oh, a month?
Yeah.
Is it, how many bedrooms?
3 bedrooms.
Say $1,600.
Yeah, you right on the head.
I was gonna say
1800. Well, you think somebody ain't making that much on the job? If you're making that much on the job, you shouldn't even be staying over here. You could move out to Crown Point for a $300,000 house. That's a house mortgage.
Yeah.
For me, I wouldn't be paying that from right here. I hate to say it though. You got to think.
It's a lot of money.
But people just moved into the house. They first built $1,300. That's the same thing. I go move the Crown, pay a mortgage every month. $300,000 house. 15 more, 2 more hundred. I got me a nice house. Yeah. More bedrooms. That's 3 bedrooms.
And that house ain't worth no $300,000, man.
You hear me? No, not that house. I'm saying the Crown Point.
Right.
Who own these houses?
You got a guy come to here buying all this. He got a whole bunch of houses all down there and all through here. He owned a whole bunch of houses.
White guy, black guy?
It's I'm thinking not a white guy, what, by the Arab or something, something like an Arab or something. Foreign guys or something.
Huh.
Yeah, so they buying up a lot of houses. They got a house on the street on the next street for $180,000 house. It's nothing but 3 bedrooms. Why would I pay $180,000 house in this area anyway? Would you?
Personally, no.
You got to look at where you live in the room.
With you guys, it's
with you guys.
I'm just saying, though, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, no. Yeah. I mean, I'm just keeping it 100 with you. No, I wouldn't. They remodel the house. I wouldn't even put that much into it. I'll get it up and running nice, decently, for somebody can live in it. But for that, no, I can't,
Yeah.
You know nobody ain't got that type of money around here.
Yeah. So we just had a conversation with a...
In the middle of the...
Well, we're eating our soul food. A guy came up to us. We had a conversation with him. Turned out he's Michael Jackson's cousin. And he's a councilman here. And he said this club right over here was owned by Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson's father. And he said Al Capone had a house nearby. It was his hideaway where he would come. But he said the same thing that the other man said off camera. And he said the story here of the decline, it's racism, plain and simple. We're hearing that a lot here.
Specifically, you say it was racism when the new mayor, yeah?
Yeah, when the mayor took over and the white people fled, and then it went down. He said you wouldn't believe what it was like in the 60s and 70s. He said thousands of people out downtown, boom town, everything there. And then all of a sudden, changed pretty much overnight. and now it's kind of what's left is a shell of what it once was. Is there anyone, given the lack of jobs, the steel mills cutting back and all that, do you blame anyone for that, or do you see it as just the way things?
No, it's just economy. What you gonna do? It's just like anything else. Everybody make a lot of money, they let somebody else make some. They feel they ain't making enough, they cut back, and some people make some. So that's just the way it is.
I fault the mayor and them for that. I blame them for it. They slacking on the jobs. Around, see all these abandoned lots and buildings and stuff like that. It looks bad. Want things to come back, you got to build, towards something. Make the city look like something.
It's our fault. It's actually gotten worse.
It's gotten worse.
It's gotten worse.
In what way?
The drugs, the property. It's more abandoned buildings, and abandoned schools, and abandoned houses than it is occupied. There's nothing here, but you know why? It's our fault. It's our fault.
That part.
It's our fault. And I hate to say it, and I know I'm going to lose my card for saying this, but it's our fault. When they try to put something in this city, we either tear it up, rob it, or shoot it up.
One thing about Gary, we do this all over the country, go to different cities and stuff. We have not seen, to my knowledge, one white person in Gary. Which even, in other places, in Flint, Michigan, Detroit, still white people around. It's mostly black.
Right.
But here it seems like it really is, the white people are gone.
Yeah.
They love.
And it's not just Gary. Like at one point, I knew that this was considered the most segregated region in the country. You had Gary, East Chicago, Hammond, which had minorities, black and Hispanics, but then the rest were just surrounded by whites. Literally, like I moved to Maryville, and I was just looking at, I graduated in 1988, I looked at their football picture from 1986, not a black person on that team. I moved to Maryville in 1998, and my kids started going to school there, and I would say it was about 30%. By the time my son graduated, they announced at the graduation it was about 50%. Now when my second child graduated, my daughter who graduated in just 2 years ago, it's about 90% black.
Up from 0%.
From 0%, so you talk about roughly in 30 years, and that's how it shifts, because what they do is they move, and instead of saying they don't want to be around us, because even in Maryville, it happened to me just like when I was talking about when I was a kid. I had white neighbors. I had one next to me here. I had 2 or 3 behind me. Overnight, they would move. And I'm talking about people I talked to every day. Wouldn't even know they were leaving. They just got up and left. So that let me know what it's about. It had nothing to do with anything but the fact that they didn't like being my neighbor. And not like I was a bad neighbor, not like my yard wasn't clean. It wasn't any of that. It was based off of one thing only. And we all know what it is. People always want to deny that there's still a lot of racism in this country. But it is. It's evident. We still, like I say, where I work out in Chester, primarily white or whatever. All of my co-workers are white, and I get along with them. But we often, because we do have patients that come from Michigan City and things like that, are black. Those are the only ones that get stopped on 49. And they never are doing anything. They don't even get ticketed, but we know what it's about. It still happens. And then everybody still had these blinders on that it doesn't happen, that it doesn't exist. You know, this election was showed exactly what this country pulse is, because you can't tell me at one time this country was all about, we had morals.
Do you think when you were a kid here and you're saying these people up and left overnight?
Yeah.
Do you think those same people were nurturing an issue with you, or like, you know, like, do you think they had a problem with black people the whole time you knew them and they were cool with you? You think they had a problem, or do you think it was all of a sudden when stuff started to change and they started to see other white people leave, they all of a sudden started to think, I gotta get out of here too?
No,
you know,
I think they had a problem with it.
You think so?
Because we were coming politically powerful. You know, we were moving. Like, essentially, if you know the history of Gary started off with blacks living in the Midtown area. And then we started spreading out. Now we're spreading out to where they live. Glen Park, West Side, Miller, those areas. They didn't like that. And then when you start seeing now politically, we're gaining, and now we're at the highest position in the city. Now I gotta be told or ran or legislated by blacks. No, they took off.
Born and raised here, love it to death. I wouldn't change my life.
What do you love about Gary?
City has went down, be honest, but it's on the uprise. Our city officials is actually making things happen for us, but we as a people think it's going slow. I'd rather for it to go slow than not to go at all.
A councilman we met told us we have to go look at the nice area of Gary. So we put that address in here. That's where we're headed right now. Welcome to the hilltop.
That's one of Gary's nice neighborhoods. The other, Miller, is on the far edge of town and feels like a different city.
Park Miller, one of their main drags.
You're not seeing those downtown too much, huh? The Mercedes.
Yeah.
Proud Union home.
Oh yeah, it's very blue collar.
Yeah. It's probably one of the few places, I know you said there's $1 million homes over there, but probably one of the few places where blue collar people can afford to live in walking distance to a beach.
Absolutely. I can't think of one place where you can stay waterside and you are a blue collar worker, or your family is a blue collar family.
Did your parents, other than working the steel mill back in the day?
Yes, I had a grandfather who worked for 38 years at U.S. Steel, and he was a part of the group of people who was able to buy a home for half of his value, and he still lives in that home today. Been in that home over 40 years. So he bought that home in 74 or 75, and there's still a lot of white people on the block, but he was there long enough to see it empty out.
Are people here bitter about that? I mean, people of that generation, you kind of watched all the white people flee out to the suburbs.
Yes.
Are people bitter?
Yes, those people are bitter. I wouldn't say all of them are bitter. There are a lot of bitter people who still hold feelings and animosity towards the real estate companies. And just the environment of the time was just a negative environment. Everything that happened to the city is still people that hold grudges, still people that still won't shop in Maryville or do anything to support Maryville. Still a lot of people that, you know.
So this whole area was just recently cleared out, right? This is all blighted?
Yeah, all of these had abandoned businesses on it, the whole block. It just happened within the last 2 or 3 years. And all of these homes over here, these were also abandoned businesses at one point in time.
Wow.
These are the Horseman apartments. They were built in 2003, 2004 during an attempt at downtown revitalization of city of Gary's downtown district. And this was a successful project. Lots of single parent families here, no Section 8. You know, so you had to have a job in order to lease an apartment here. And very little crime happens in this area. It's very quiet. You got schools, charter schools on either side of it. And it was, you know, an attempt to try to bring a positive sort of environment to downtown. We also have this building here, it was just opened up recently. This is a Section 8 housing building, low income. But it's brand new, just built. We can keep straight here.
So what do you think? So in your lifetime, has the city gotten better or worse?
In my lifetime, the city has gotten better. I grew up in the 90s. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the days when Gary was considered the murder capital of the country.
Yeah, I've read that online.
Yeah, and during those days, it was rough living here. A lot of gang violence, a lot of drugs, a lot of people lost their lives out here.
And what about now?
Well, it's way better now than what it was in the 90s. But the damage was done. Gary has the reputation of being a violent place, even though it's not that way anymore now. It hasn't been that way for about 20 years.
Looming over everything are the Gary Works, once the largest steel mill in the world. While still active, it employs a fraction of the people it once did.
Also at that time with the modernization of the steel mills and where it went from employing 25, 30,000 to employing 3,000.
When Gary gets dark, the vibe changes again. There's no one outside except at liquor stores and gas stations. People don't stop at lights or stop at stop signs. Gary is a food desert with no supermarket right in the city. In these stores, we saw people come in with guns in their pockets. A few people in masks gave us looks and shot glances at our car. People who talked to us told us to be safe.
We'll tell you this much, all right? Y'all be careful out here. This shit is dangerous.
But people are also talkative and friendly, like Cordae, who splits his time between Gary and Mississippi.
What's Gary like?
It's a mixture. So if you want to talk about the basics of it, I can give you that.
Yeah.
It's a mixture. There's good folks here, there's bad folks here, there's troublesome everywhere, ain't nothing you can do about that. But from an external standpoint, for folks that don't stay here and that's like on the border and that's like in the Chicago suburbs, that's probably like about 15 minutes out, like Dalton and Lance and places like that, they look at this place like it is the lowest of the lows. So, but nonetheless, there's good people here. There's good businesses here for what's left of it. At one point in time, believe it or not, Gary really used to thrive.
That's what we heard.
Yeah, it really used to thrive. Like in this main street here of Broadway, oh man. All down through there, just looking straight here, you think it's just a black wall.
It's pitch black.
There is a road that takes you all the way down through there. Now, me personally, I don't mind it because like I said, I'm from the country myself.
Yeah.
You know, and out in the country, around this time it gets dark. But in these upper parts, in the city, there's supposed to be lights. Like, you walking down through there, somebody be waiting on you. They kill you, you know? So, yeah, crazy. Like I say, man, he's how you doing, Lil?
I'm good.
That's a stallion for sure. She too tall. Well, she can wrap her legs around me. But, hey, look here, man. I'll climb a tree, damn it. How tall is you, mama?
6'2".
You ain't taking, is you?
Huh?
You ain't taking, is you?
No.
Why not?
Because I was, but then people play with me.
You got a number? I wouldn't play with you.
You wouldn't?
I'm shorter than you, but I mean, I give it a shot.
Okay.
Confidence, it helps.
And also this truck helps, man.
I mean, like I said, I'm a country boy, so we off-road. We do back roads and all that shit. Look here, it's gonna come from a 601 number. What's your line, love?
219. 601?
Yep.
What's your name?
Cordae.
Okay, I'm gonna text you.
Bet. I'm gonna shoot you a text when you text me back.
Okay.
Be safe. So
That's impressive.
What is
His generation calls it Riz.
You know what Riz is?
Riz? What's that?
You know the word charisma.
Okay, that
So
they shorten it. Okay.
charisma. So Riz is when.
Riz is that, bro. That like that was
What just happened, brother?
You rizzed her up.
See, we all know what happened, but let that shit go. You see what I'm saying? Because we have bigger fish to fry. We really do. Because all of us, if we're not in a certain capital, some of us are still facing some of the same struggle. It don't matter if you're white or black or whatever you are. We still struggling. And I just feel like a lot of us need to learn how to come together, be together, and speak up for some of the right things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're protesting for some of the wrong shit, but let's speak together. Let's come together. Let's be diverse on the right things. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What's your name? You don't have to give it. I'm Max. I'm Max.
You Max, and what's your name?
I'm Drew.
Drew.
They don't know, man, because this the hood.
Yeah.
Gary getting better. This is all bad spots. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it depends on what you're trying to do. We got artists, we got
Freddie Gibbs, Seneca Gibbs, everybody here. That's all my family.
Are they still around, Gary?
they not around right now. Now Freddie Gibbs live in Miami now.
The Hennessy guy? Got that. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's a pound of weed.
A pound.
1 pound.
That smell, I mean, that's like, that just smells unreal. That smells unreal. Hennessy, some good weed, it's a good combo.
Let's give a few dollars, you know what I'm saying? 5 or 10 minutes ago, if you ride down Broadway, a guy just got killed in the pawn shop right now. They just went
tonight.
Just now. You can ride up on 35th and Broadway, still taped off. A guy just got killed in the pawn shop. They just ran in that motherfucker just now and robbed him and killed him.
And what's a lesson that you learned working on the streets in Gary?
You gotta hustle out here. Make your money and stay out the way. All the motherfucker wanna do is eat. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, there's people out here starving. Can't pay their bills, can't pay groceries, can't even live day to day. Some people only got $10. So you gotta make it where you don't gotta go down that route. Yeah, people get jobs. Yeah, that's understandable. Everybody can't get a job. You got felons out here. You got people that they just denying.
Yeah.
And it's just hard in the hood.
Yeah.
If you do get a job, they probably pay $9, $8.
Really? It's that low?
It's that low. Out here it's that low. What the fuck you gonna do with that? Right. That ain't gonna get you no motherfucking well, but pay what, your light bill, your NIPSCO? People out here striving and surviving, so when you wanna make some real money, it's crazy to say this, but they say crime pays. Like I say, people out here on bullshit every day.
Yeah.
Me, yeah, I'm in the streets, but I ain't on bullshit. You can be in the streets, but not on bullshit. When you in the streets, you in the get the money, get out, take care of your family, and get the fuck on. You ain't trying to rob nobody. You ain't trying to hurt nobody. You ain't trying to nothing negative. You don't want nothing negative.
Try to just do your business.
That's it. You just want to make a home safe to your kids at night. We're gonna make it real quick. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam. You know, we're gonna make it real quick.
So we met some kids today, 13, 14. They said their friends all have guns. Was it like that when you were a kid?
13, 14-year-olds?
All right, let me see this camera. All right.
I'm gonna turn on.
It's on the ground. You see, I got it facing the ground.
That's fair, but it's not on right now.
Okay. I'm gonna show you guys something. Big shit like this. Can you see that? Can you see it?
No, it's hard to see.
Oh, shit.
That's big shit.
Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to get our upcoming videos from Milwaukee, Detroit, and Flint, Michigan.